Welcome back to Tech Tech. I'm Adam Housley in Los Angeles. The future of cybersecurity, been a topic that we've talked about here on the show for a number of years, but in the wake of the Ashley Madison scandal, as well as a few others recently, definitely now the topic that everyone seems to be talking about, at least in some circles. Joining us, Eric Yaverbaum. Had him on here before. He's the CEO of Eric Communications, New York Times bestselling author also, and publisher of Trumped Magazine, joining us from our studios in New York. You also can follow him on Twitter at Real Yaverbaum. Eric, thanks for joining us as always.
Thanks so much for having me as always.
You know, we were talking off camera right before the segment began about how it takes Ashley Madison in some ways to get everybody talking about what's going on with cybersecurity. It's unfortunate that happened, I guess, for those who decided to use that website. But the fact is that we've had a lot more serious breaches than this that's been going on for some time.
Yeah, a lot more serious. I mean, Ashley Madison was 33 million. 33 million really idiots, because if you digital fingerprints, you put it into your computer, it's there forever. You're there to get caught. That's just foolish. I mean, every government agency in the country has somebody that was going on there. Right now, hackers, it's a game. And what we keep doing is building higher and higher walls, and the hackers build higher and higher ladders, and they get in. That's why behavioral security is the future. It will prevent hacking. Until then, changing your passwords, which people don't do on a regular basis, having, and making your password a little bit complicated, which people don't do. I mean, if you got 40 or 50 different passwords, most people use the same one. That's also foolish.
Right. A question for you on that, because it's all about behavioral recognition, and that's what you were talking about as being the future of cybersecurity. We're talking about in this segment. I've always wanted to ask you this, and others as well. You see these different apps or websites or ways, 1Password, these kind of things where you can go in there, because let's be honest, you're not going to want to carry around something that has all your passwords on it, because that can be lost. That could cause a breach. So how do you remember them all? So there's different ways that you can do that, but do these 1Password sites and apps, do they actually work, or can those be hacked as well?
I would trust them about as much as I trust any individual password. That I have them on a piece of paper, and I change them every quarter. If I sit in a room with 100 people and I tell them the dangers of the passwords that they have, and I tell them how many different ways that they can get hacked and what it can do to their lives, there will be one person, at least one person in every room of 100 that's password is lowercase password 123, 1 out of 100. It's the first password that a hacker will check. Now look, on the other side of the fence, because while everything's getting hacked, I mean, you have great, like InfoFree, great companies, small businesses' best friend. They got 240 million consumer database that small businesses use, and they use it successfully, and you don't hear anything. So while the Ashley Madisons of the world happen, there also is a lot of secure databases out there also. But in the future, how fast I type, how hard I hit a key, which way I swipe, even maybe my heartbeat, because I'm wearing, like I wear a Fitbit that measures my heart. All of those things will be able to, tell if it's me or if it's somebody else.
Also your fingerprint, as we've already seen with iPhones, for example. Behavioral recognition technology, though, that's kind of an interesting point. How does that work, and how would it help in this situation?
Well, I don't, on your keyboard, everybody types in a different way. I don't type the proper way. I don't use all my fingers. My computer keyboard can begin to recognize me. Also, the speed at which I type, how hard I hit the keys, which way I swipe. Behavioral recognition will begin to recognize my behavior, not just where I'm at, but how my body works with the computer, and will be able to tell, is it Eric Yaverbaum or is it somebody else?
What's interesting, Eric, is we did a segment here on Tech Take before about lie detectors, and that's some of the lie detectors that are out there now that you can do in the studio, for example. They also measure the same way, how hard you press something. When you answer a question, for example, one of the stories we're working on is a company that's going to put machines in some of the airports around the globe, that how quickly you answer a question, how hard you press the button, are ways to determine whether someone's lying or telling the truth. How far is this technology away, this behavioral technology
it's not
that could
that
help
far.
us in cybersecurity?
There's several companies that have raised significant amounts of money. I've tried some of the technology. It's very close. It's coming, I would say in the next 6 to 12 months. It won't be passwords anymore. It'll be behavior. And by the way, the only flaw on that is we don't all act the same every single day. But I surf the internet at a certain speed. I type at a certain speed. You know, the wearable technologies like is being developed in Toronto. My heartbeat, you know, if it's way up or way down, it's not me.
What about, you know, I know a company we profiled a couple of years ago, like eye recognition, and there's so many different things coming out. I guess my last question though is, there's really nothing that's going to be 100% secure, correct? Though even with this stuff, it'll be better.
I think behavioral is going to be as close as we're going to ever get to being, and it may just be 100% secure. But until we have that, no, I don't think anything's secure. And by the way, I wouldn't use any of those password apps that, because all of your passwords are in one of those apps, and they're going to get hacked. Until there's a way to know for sure that it's Eric Yaverbaum, like on my iPhone, because it's my fingerprint, I'm the only one who has it, and that is secure.
Right. Gotcha. Eric Yaverbaum, CEO of Airco Communications, always coming on talking about security. We appreciate you once again joining us. Good information. We'll definitely follow this whole idea of behavioral as password ways of protecting yourself on the internet, and we'll bring you back on once. Hopefully, you say the next 6 months. We'll see if that comes to pass. It'd be nice to see that.
It would indeed.
All right. I'm Adam Housley in Los Angeles, and you're watching Tech Take.